Patriots family mourn the death of Junior Seau. To the Patriots players, he was more than a teammate. Junior Seau is remembered as a leader, a friend, and one of the game's all-time best linebackers. And you knew him well.
What he's meant to this game, what he's meant to this organization. Football can be a pretty brutal business at times, but to Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, Junior Seau was family to this football team.
And there is Tom Brady, as he was also very close. All these guys were that played with Junior the parts of 3 seasons that he was in New England. And, of course, Drew Brees played with him in San Diego. But now it's time for the game. The Saints, who set NFL records last season, and the Patriots led on defense by Vince Wilfork. Is he the best defensive lineman ever for New England? Well, he's certainly in the conversation, Randy.
Well, him and Richard Seymour and maybe another body or two, but I tell you, Vince, from his overall contribution to this football team, to this organization, and to this community at large, I think makes a heck of a case as being one of the most impactful players in this franchise's history.
The Saints have won the toss, and they will receive to start the game. They, of course, are going into their second preseason game. In the Hall of Fame game in Canton last Sunday night, they defeated Kansas City 17-10. Drew Brees led a 10-play, 77-yard scoring drive. On the Saints' first possession, that was it for the night for him. And the Saints, with a late interception, stopped the Chiefs' threat and won the game.
Yeah, we expect to see most everybody at the quarterback position on both sides. I think Tom Brady, Hoyer, and Ryan Mallett for the Pats, and all 4 quarterbacks for the Saints. I'm not sure if they'll just play Brees about a series, a little bit of Chase Daniels, and we'll see a lot out of Joe Vitz, number 3, and number 4, Canfield and McCown.
Joe Vitz, the acting captain, acting coach, head coach of the New Orleans Saints, and now they're ready to kick it off. Here is Gostowski ready to kick off. Tavares Cadet is back. Line drive kick hit hard into the end zone, and it'll go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback, and so the Saints will start 1st and 10 at their 20. Now let's meet the Patriots defense. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Gillette, the official shave of the New England Patriots. Kyle Love, Vince Wilfork, and rookie Chandler Jones across the defensive front. Gerard Mayo, a defensive captain. Dane Fletcher, rookie Dante Hightower, and Rob Ninkovich, coming off a terrific year, are the backers. Devin McCourney at 1 quarter. Now a handoff and straight up the middle with the run is Pierre Thomas as he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Stopped by Wilfork, Chung Gregory, and Kyle Arrington also in the secondary as we look at the Saints on offense. Brought to you by Gillette, the official shave of the New England Patriots. Brees, very good offensive line. That right guard, Jerry Evans, can blow up defensive lines. Now Brees with the quick pass offense from the shotgun. Rushes on, and Brees looking for some place to go and wisely downs the ball. It'll be 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Yeah, Chandler Jones, the rookie out of Syracuse, 95, coming off the defensive right side on the right side of your screen there. Watch his leverage on Bushrod. He pushes Bushrod, the tackle, up the field, then comes underneath. He looks like he's got a clear shot, and then the turf monster got him. He just sort of stumbled before he could get a shot on Drew Brees, but Brees felt the pressure and had to get rid of that ball.
He did. He get rid of it in time to save the sack, but now it's 3rd and 5. Brees looking deep, long ball on the way. Diving for it, but is incomplete to the tight end, David Thomas. Devin McCourty was defending on the play, so it's 3 downs and out on their first possession for the Saints. They'll punt the ball to the Patriots.
We'll be looking at a lot of Jones tonight. Watch his hands. Look how long those arms are, and watch his lower body as we start showing him through the night. And look how he can twist and turn, his flexibility and his ability to get an offensive lineman off balance and then move underneath.
Morstead, the Saints punter, is terrific. One of the best in the NFL. He led the NFL with 68 kickoffs returned for touchbacks. Ready to punt it now. Julian Edelman looking to field the ball at his 21. To the 25. Penalty markers fired in as the play is down.
Might get that as a block in the back against Sergio Brown. Looked like he got him from the side.
Placement officials, of course, working the game. The referee is David White, who, among other things, is a graduate of Vanderbilt.
During the return, illegal block in the back on the return team, number 23. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
Marquise Cole is called for the infraction. The block in the back. Didn't look like much.
Well, anytime you get in the back, you can't get your helmet in front of the guy you're trying to block. The official's going to see that as a block in the back. And Marquise Cole did have his hands in the back of the jersey.
All right, Randy, here we go with Tom Brady at quarterback. It used to be the pass-first offense. Now it's the quick pass offense. Over the middle throw. Gronkowski stretches, can't get to the ball to the 45-yard line. Guy who put up the best tight end numbers of anybody in NFL history last season. There's Brady's passing yards last season.
You see what Brady and Breeze and Rodgers and company did last year, going over 5,000 yards. Can 6,000 yards in a season really be that far away?
Number 13th season for number 12 of the New Orleans Saints as they try to get to Brady now. His hands off again to Stephen Ridley. And it could emerge an LSU runner. A lot of New Orleans media around him after practice. Meet the Patriots offense. Tonight's starting line is brought to you by the Gillette, the official shave of the New England Patriots. Solder, Thomas, Copen is at center. Let's look at the skill position players. Welker, Gronkowski, Ridley, Hernandez, and Lloyd, double tight ends. Most of the time, the Patriot offense functions. One running back, two wide receivers, two tight ends. Woodhead runs. He's going to get the ball a lot this year, Randy, because Josh McDaniels loves the screen and draw game. Curtis Lofton makes the stop for the Saints. Look at their lineups, brought to you by Gillette.
Yeah, Lofton was a great add in the middle of that defense with Jonathan Vilma serving a one-year suspension, getting another Pro Bowl type middle linebacker from Atlanta in the division is a steal.
Brady under center, quick snap, on-target throw, but it's off the hands of Brandon Lloyd at the 49-yard line of the Patriots. Lloyd, sensational receiver. He's a guy who can get deep, get behind the safeties.
Concentrate on Lloyd's hands. He doesn't put him up for the ball till the very last second. He doesn't adjust too early and give the defensive back a chance to see where that ball is coming. Tom Brady saw he was covered on the inside, put that ball perfectly on the outside. That's an example, Don, of one of those timing plays that just have to get it down. It's just repetition.
It was inches away from the completion, but now it's second down. 2nd and 10. On the run is Ridley. Hard running back. Averaged over 5 yards a carry on 87 carries last season. Lofton again on the tackle, a middle backer out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, just think about this running back group. It's about as young as it's been under the Bill Belichick era with Ridley and Vereen, and Woodhead's the old man.
Over the middle throw. It's going to be short of the first down. The hit is made at the 37-yard line. The line the game was about the 39 as Hernandez, who has also been lighting it up in training camp. He's been unstoppable. Makes the catch, but it's 4th down and about a yard, so the Patriots will go 3 and out, and they'll punt the ball.
Yeah, I'm surprised a player like Hernandez runs that route and comes up short of the first down on the route and doesn't get past the sticks before he gets that ball in his chest.
And it will be Zoltan Mesko punting the ball for the Patriots. Penalty markers down as Mesko booms a high punt. Cadet, the 18. Working hard against the coverage. That's what the call is.
Well, special teams are huge for making this team at a lot of positions, Don.
Well, they are. Matthew Slater, who's been to the Pro Bowl as a special teamer for New England, made the tackle on the play. But there is a Patriot down.
Offside. Number 95 of the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And so, Randy, the Patriot offense comes back out. There was a defensive penalty. It's New England a first down.
Well, I got to tell you, you do that on a third or fourth and short.
Looks like Dane Fletcher's down.
Well, Joe Vitt's gray enough as it is. You have a guy lining up off sides on a punt and giving a team a first down to start with. He's going to go from gray to basically bald. You see Dane Fletcher, he got caught up in the wash on that tackle that was being made. It looked to be injured one of his knees.
Boy, he has been good, too. He's been at a real good camp. We'll hope that he's back soon. Dane Fletcher, no score. We're back at Gillette Stadium. Randy Cross, how about, said he got caught up in the wash, linebacker Dane Fletcher covering the kick.
Yeah, and when you see him come in from the right side of your screen, here he is right here. Concentrate on everything from about the knees down. And that's where the contact is made. It's basically he collides knees with Patrick, the DB from the New Orleans Saints.
So unfortunately, Dane Fletcher is helped off, and now Brady on the penalty has a first down for his offense, and they'll start at the 41. Ridley, left back runner, terrific young guy from Natchez, Mississippi, and LSU, a third-round draft choice. All Southeastern Conference. He was a captain at LSU, Ridley, and he is a motivated guy. All this after practice on Wednesday. Every practice to him is like it's his last.
Well, he's got a chance to be the man. And Tom Brady and that offense just lined up, and for them, an unconventional offense. The straight old I formation, fullback and halfback. Now it's empty.
Empty it is. Brady takes a look. Underneath throw. It goes to Gronk. His tight end. He got 90 last year. 17 for touchdowns. And he is brought down, but it's a first down for the Patriots.
He's on the left side, standing up in the slot. Just a little turnaround, about a 7-yard route he runs, and the man they call Gronk, you refer to him as Gronk, it fits. It's kind of a Stone Age nickname, but he's a Stone Age player.
He's an all-pro player. Here's a downfield throw. Beautiful breakup at the last second. As going for the ball was Brandon Lloyd. Johnny Patrick, second-year cornerback, got a hand out and knocked it down. Another marker down. And the Patriots are walking back.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
The penalty's called on Nate Solder, 77, the big left tackle. I like the way this guy looks coming back for this last year. This offseason made a world of difference to this young tackle, and Bill Belichick and this organization have to love what they have on their hands with this guy.
And as you know, Randy, he got a lot of work as a rookie. He started 11 games for the Patriots. And now Brady wisely downs the ball. The rush was on him.
Right now he's having a hard time with Will Smith, the defensive end. You know, and Solder's a knee bender. He's tall, but when he's at his best, his knees are bent, and frankly, his knees aren't bent. He's not moving well laterally. His legs are a little stiff, and Will Smith is able to get underneath him. He's got to bend his knees and get those hands out better.
As Bill Belichick told us yesterday, Solder could probably play any position in the offensive line. This time he and his mates run block for Stephen Ridley, the second-year back, 225 pounds, and 87 carries a year ago. 5.1 a carry. Had some problems, though, with fumbles late in the season. And he said nobody had to talk to him about it. There's Ivan Fears, the running backs coach, you can be sure did talk to him about it.
Yep. Well, he and Woodley, and you look at a guy like Vereen, too, the second-year player that people haven't seen much of him. I think he's a high-quality back.
Woodhead in the backfield. Here is Tom Brady as he's hit. Balls from behind. Balls live on the field. And it looks like Curtis Lofton came up with it.
That was Will Smith again, working against, taking the long route around Nate Solder. And when he takes the route around Nate Solder, as Brady steps up, he tries to come back out to his right, and Will Smith is unblocked, comes all the way around, gives him the tomahawk chop, and that ball comes immediately out. Not a good start for this offensive line that there's many questions about to start with.
Curtis Lofton, new acquisition. He had some good years at Atlanta. Was the guy who made the fumble recovery. Now let's see if Breeze and the Saints can move the ball. They go to the run to Darren Sproles, who had a phenomenal season last year. He was 4 yards short of 2,700 all-purpose yards, an NFL record. 2,696.
He ran into a face full of inside linebacker with Dante Hightower and Gerard Mayo, giving him a nice little face massage after about a 2-yard pickup.
He didn't do that. So it is 2nd down and 8 now. Breeze. Feet moving, buying time. He's running out of it. Dumps it over the middle and a good breakup. Terrific play by a standout player, Gerard Mayo. The defensive captain of the Patriots in his 2nd year. He's now in his 5th year out of Tennessee. Was the Patriots #1. Brady being looked at now. Might take him a shot over the eye. Could be dirt in the eye.
Well, it could be some of the, this is that field turf field. It's got that ground up tire. When you hit face first, as he did when he got his arms chopped, you get a face full of pellets in your eyes.
Meanwhile, his good friend and counterpart, Drew Brees, working the offense for the Saints. Underneath throw to Sproles. He's taken down short of the 1st down and a 3rd down and 8. And the field goal unit comes out. Gerard Mayo makes another stop. The player he's been. John Casey comes out in his 22nd year kicking in the National Football League. He was 28 of 34 last year. Tell you what, that's longevity.
Yeah, it really is. And importantly for the Saints, the backup quarterback, Chase Daniels, is the holder. It's not the punter, so there's always the threat of the pass.
46-yard field goal attempt. Line drive, driven through. NFL snap, hold, and kick at its best. A 46-yard field goal gives the Saints the lead. They'll kick off when we come back. Don Criqui with Randy Cross back at Gillette Stadium. 3-0 Saints. Have a question for Randy? Follow at Patriots on Twitter and tweet your questions with the hashtag AskRandy. He'll be answering your questions throughout the game.
Wow, that's instant response, huh?
First question.
You see all the fans here with their personal devices, phones and whatnot.
Randy's a multitasker. You can announce. You can tweet at the same time.
That's right. Those devices. That's the future of fandom in the stadiums. They demand more and more of that.
Getting it. Right now, Woodhead and Vereen are back anticipating the kickoff by New Orleans. Woodhead from the goal line. He darts out to the 19-yard line. Good special teams coverage. Tackle. Corey White. Ready to go back to work. Trailing by 3. Tonight's trivia is brought to you by Patriots Checking, only from Bank of America. 5 times in NFL history, quarterbacks have thrown for over 5,000 yards in a season. Name the players.
It's a pretty good one.
Very good one.
It's 5 times. Actually, it's 4 players.
Yes.
Hint, hint, hint.
Some are in the house. Ridley, picking up yards. Says his new mantra, Randy, running the ball, keep it high and tight.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. Ridley can't get dinged, and he has to hold on to the ball. He's got to be dependable as far as that goes. And Bill Belichick is quick to point out that we have to be able to run the ball. Josh McDaniels, the new old offensive coordinator, I should say, loves to run the ball.
And they run it again, same guy, and he's got a first down as Ridley blasts into the left side of the Saints defense. Josh McDaniels was the head coach at Denver, then he was the offensive coordinator at St. Louis, and now he's back where he's happiest, coaching with Bill Belichick.
And they have to be able to run the ball, not in general. That's always important. They have to run the ball when people know they have to run the ball. That's something they haven't been able to do lately.
That's what Bill said to us. He said there's times when we're going to run the ball. They know it. We know it. You have to execute it.
You got to be able to finish and go away with the ball. Just kill the clock. It's going to be procedure, 5 yards backwards.
The regular NFL official still out.
Offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty, first down.
In a contract impasse with the league.
A penalty against Marcus Cannon, the right tackle, in for Sebastian Vollmer, who's still on the PUP list.
Brady to Ridley, looking for room. And again, they go to Stephen Ridley, and the middle backer, Curtis Lofton. Jonathan Vilma, who is the defensive captain and defensive signal caller, has, as you know, been suspended for the season as part of Bounty Gate. Curtis Lofton was picked up as a free agent from Atlanta. Curtis Lofton is good.
Yeah, he'll be a heck of a test for the inside of this offensive line. Connolly's back at center now.
Underneath throw. Danny Woodhead works his way downfield. Linebacker John Casillas gets him down. Short gain.
And this is a Josh McDaniels influenced play. This is a screen. Simply, it's pretty much a one lineman screen. It's the left guard, Thomas, gets out early. He gets an edge block, and that buys Woodhead some yards. It's his job to try to break that one tackle and get the extra yards.
Getting a lot of carries. Here's a downfield throw, a beautiful reception by Brandon Lloyd over the middle of the field. But there are penalty markers down by where the spot where Brady threw the ball. Could be a hold. Beautifully timed throw if the play goes, and it won't. It would have been good for 17 yards.
Holding, offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Third down.
Nate Solder flagged.
Another penalty against the offensive line. 77, the near side offensive tackle. Solder gets his one hand in his chest, gets the other hand in his chest. It's that left arm. See the left arm? It's across his chest. It may not look like holding, but to the official from the side, that looks like he's got him wrapped up.
It brings up third down and 18. Here's Brady. Pump fakes. Underneath throw to Gronkowski. Three guys get him down, led by Casillas again. And the Patriot punt team comes out. Last time the Patriots punted, they ended up getting a first down on it, put their offense back out because of an offside on the punt rush. Joseph Morgan is back now at the 10-yard line of the Saints. Zoltan Mesko, he was a co-captain of the Michigan Wolverines. That's how good a kicker he was for them, and he's been equally good in the NFL. Here is a Morgan looking for a place to go. Special teams coverage is very good.
That was a great play by Matthew Slater. Got there early, circled back, and still got a piece.
Tonight's trivia is brought to you by Patriots Checking, only from Bank of America. The question again, 5 times in NFL history, quarterbacks have thrown for over 5,000 yards in a season. Name the players, and they are Drew Brees and Tom Brady last season, Dan Marino in '84, Drew Brees in 2008, and the one that you might not get, I wouldn't have, but Matthew Stafford of the Lions had a great 5,000-yard year.
Yeah, it was 3 5,000-plus quarterbacks. Actually, Eli Manning was only a handful of yards away from joining that club, too.
And now Randy Chase Daniel comes in to quarterback the New Orleans Saints, a fourth-year player from Missouri. He had a terrific game against Kansas City last Sunday night. And the Saints break into open field. Pierre Thomas running hard. He's ahead for a gain of 13 yards and a first down.
Yeah, and that was right up the middle. That's gashing them right where you live. The rookie 45, Dante Hightower, right there in the hole. And he is slammed a little bit. He's occupied. And it only takes a fraction of a second here in the NFL to be occupied. And that running back is by you.
He was by him fast. Steve Gregory, one of the safeties, made the first hit for the Patriots. Again, New Orleans goes to power football. Mark Ingram Number 1 pick in 2011 out of Alabama runs the ball.
That's a back with some power, Don.
Yeah, he was. He was out 6 games, as you know, had injuries last year, but they've got a good array of runners. Second and 3, a 46-yard field goal by the Saints, the only score of the night. Big defensive hit. Kyle Love, an underrated guy, had 13 starts last season and 4 sacks for the Patriots, makes the stop.
There's Love right here. Watch the penetration he gets on this play. Penetration is able to just destroy a double team. They don't block him long enough, and when they do go off, he penetrates up the field and eats himself a running back.
Gobble him up. Now on 3rd and 2. Chase Daniels goes to the run. And running hard is Mark Ingvar. Thomas Cadet runs the ball. Chandler Jones brings him down, but there are penalty markers down. It looks like they're against the Saints.
Bushrod's having a heck of a time with Chandler Jones over there on the right side of the Patriots defense.
Patriots traded up in the 1st round to get Chandler Jones, a first-year player out of Syracuse. Did have some injury problems last year.
Number 74. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 3rd down.
Yeah, 74 is the left tackle, Jermon Bushrod. You'll see him just come into your screen on the left side. Watch the job that Chandler Jones, see the way he's got him stood up and he's got him held off. And Bushrod had no choice. He just had to grab something, and it was right in front of the line judge's face, right next to him.
He got caught, and it's 3rd and long. Chase Daniel gets some time, runs out of it, now buys more with his feet. Penalty markers down in the backfield as Daniel, if the play goes, would have a 1st down, but it looks to be a call. I think they're holding.
Chandler Jones bull rushed Bushrod and just forced him to tackle him rather than sack Chase Daniels. He was going to sack Daniels with Bushrod.
Holding, number 74, the offense. The 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 3rd down.
Yeah, now this is not your average left tackle. I thought Jermon Bushrod has really become a heck of a tackle, but Chandler is able to slap those arms. Once you get those arms off, that really puts the offensive lineman at a disadvantage. And you see where Bushrod had him grabbed on the outside of the shoulders. You get your hands outside the frame, on the outside of the shoulders, and the guy goes down, you're guaranteed to get a hold of him.
And he's got long arms. Almost gets a piece of the ball. Long ball downfield, and the Saints come up with it. A tremendous downfield throw as Courtney Roby, diving for the ball, makes the play at midfield. And the Saints hit the biggest play of this game so far, a 20-yard gain.
You got any questions as to why this Saints organization has got so much faith in the backup quarterback Chase Daniels behind Drew Brees? Because he could throw a lot of the same kind of passes. And this Pats defense just saw pinpoint accuracy they'd expect out of Drew Brees, but it was done by Chase Daniels.
Yeah, Chase Daniels with the long ball, and it's a 20-yard gain. And now, under center, running hard, not very far, is Tavares Cadet, a rookie from Appalachian State.
Yeah. Matt Patricia, who's been the linebacker coach this year, getting the defensive coordinator title added. You know, he's one of the longtime assistants for Bill Belichick. And, you know, in my book, that is one of the really good defensive minds, young minds in the NFL, Matt Patricia.
Has an engineering degree from RPI.
So he can draw him up good, you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. Here now is Daniel off target as he tries to get the ball down to the 43-yard line of the Saints. Looking at tight end David Thomas. 3rd down and 10 comes up.
Now here's a defensive situation. You know, we talk about situations all the time. And yet the last couple of days in practice, the best thing about going against a team like the Saints is you can practice 3rd and longs. And Matt Patricia now has got something dialed up that involves pressure. And pressure now involves Chandler Jones, 95.
Daniel, who hit 15 of 20 against Kansas City last Sunday night for over 200 yards, elects to run the ball. Hey, they list him at 6 feet, Randy. I don't know if he's that big. Chase Daniel.
No, he's more like 5'10", Don, but watch Chandler Jones up the field and then come back. Watch this spin-off on Bushrod. He's not going to get there. Daniel starts moving. I mean, he looks like he's all arms and legs. His torso is about 2 feet of his body. I mean, he's looking like a gigantic spider moving down the field. That guy can really go after a quarterback.
Edelman comes up on the punt. Fair catches at the 12, and the Saints down 3-0. Or up 3-0. Will send their defense out. And Tom Brady and the Patriot offense go back on the field when we come back to Gillette Stadium. This guy's good. Now let's take a look. Randy Cross had a Twitter question directed to you. How do you think Ridley will respond to being the starting back this season?
I know how he better respond. He better respond like somebody's trying to steal groceries out of his cabinets at home. I mean, he's got to come out just obsessed and wanting to really impress this coaching staff, starting with Bill Belichick. They've got to have some real stability and reliability at running back, and he's going to be the first one to get a chance to do it.
Right now, Brian Hoyer's in the game at quarterback. He gives up to Brandon Bolden. Brandon is a rookie from Ole Miss who has really had a good camp, an unrestricted free agent, street free agent. Here is Hoyer. He told us, Randy, that was interesting. He said the preseason is my regular season. He didn't threw one pass last year.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't mean that as it's kind of my audition to the rest of the league. He really means this is my chance to run this offense and show what I can do to the coaching staff for the regular season.
Bolden could get a long look tonight. He's a good size back at 5'11", 220. Had some injury problems his senior year at Ole Miss and didn't get drafted. Very good as a junior.
We got some of the backup receivers in too, Don. You know, some familiar names like Dante Stallworth are in there and Justin Edelman. Julian Edelman, I mean.
From the shotgun, Brian Hoyer in his 4th year lofts a timing throw. Just off the hands of Julian Edelman. And so the Patriots fail to move, and they'll punt the ball from deep in their own end, trailing the Saints 3-0. Traveris Cadet goes back for the Saints.
Well, that'll be a possession when they get to the films tomorrow, highlighted by not very good run blocking on 1st and 2nd down, and then really be nowhere for Brian Hoyer to even try to fit that ball in on 3rd.
Cadet will fair catch the ball at his 42-yard line. Mesco hitting it, 46-yard punt, no return. And that will do it for the first quarter of play as the Saints lead the game on a 46-yard field goal, 3-0. We're back to Gillette Stadium, ready to start the second quarter of play. New Orleans up 3-0 on the long field goal, a 46-yarder. Chase Daniel, backup quarterback, 4th year from Missouri, directing the offense for the Saints. Try the middle of the Patriots defense, and Traveris Cadet is stopped.
You get stuff like that, you're going to have everybody trying to rip that ball out, just like you just saw, Don.
Now the player spotlight, Randy.
Chandler Jones, the young draft pick out of Syracuse, 1st rounder. The scary thing is this kid's just getting going. So he's the definition of the old, he doesn't know what he doesn't know, but what he does know so far is how to put pressure on quarterbacks.
Well, he does. Chandler Jones, he rushes the passer. Remember the great Deacon Jones, who always claims he has more sacks than anybody in history, but they didn't count him when he was playing. So might proof get out the films.
Well, you know, that's one thing, too, for a young player like this, with so much to learn. There's one basic, just intangible you're born with or you're not, and that's that Sikkim gene. And he's got that Sikkim gene.
And he comes up smiling. He smiles throughout the game. He's a happy guy playing football. Here's a throw and a connection, beautifully done, executed downfield. And that play will go as Pat Chung is the guy who came up to make the play. All in the hands of Michael Higgins, a backup tight end.
Yeah, you see, when they give this Saints offense any time to really get a timing throw off, they're going to give you issues. That's why we talked about those 5,000 yards passers. I'm not kidding. I think we're going to see a 6,000 yard passer in the next couple of years.
It could happen. That was a 15-yard gain. Patriots on defense come hitting hard, led by cornerback Devin McCourty, number 32.
That was a very, very nice play by Ninkovich, working on the outside.
Chris Ivory, the runner now for the Saints. Saints were a great rallying point. Katrina hit the Gulf Coast in August of 2006, and as that part of the country hit by the devastating hurricane was rebuilding, the Saints became a rallying point, and they won the Super Bowl in the 2009 season. Right now, an over-the-middle throw as Daniel's been on target. He was on target the last couple of days in the workouts here.
Yeah, I mean he's been an accurate thrower, a big yard thrower, and a big play thrower for ever since he was with Gary Pinkel at Missouri. He knows how to move a team through the air.
We've got two other quarterbacks on the roster. Sean Canfield, a big, strong-armed second-year player, and Luke McCown, who's been around 9 years. Nobody keeps 4. Looks like 2 of the spots are sewn up. We know Breeze is there, and Chase Daniel, an effective backup. High set in the backfield. Yeah, you were an offensive guard, Randy. Got to be a bad feeling sometimes. Those runners where have nowhere to go, right into your back sometimes.
That's exactly where they're supposed to run. It's your fault that you're still there when they get there.
Is that right?
Seriously. It's your job to get the heck out of the way or make a hole. Because if you don't make a hole, we had a fullback our first Super Bowl year named Johnny Davis. He scared the living daylights out of us. We knew he'd probably crack a vertebrae if you were still there when he got there.
Pick is it. Gregory does have the ball. The new acquisition, who started last year for the San Diego Chargers, Steve Gregory, a 7th-year player from Syracuse. Ball was tipped. It looked like Gerard Mayo, and a tremendous play by Gregory.
Yeah, the ball's knocked up in the air right by Mayo, right in the middle of the screen. He gets it up in the air, and a veteran does what a veteran does. They're there when the ball gets there.
Steve Gregory making a big play for the Patriots on defense. His running mate of safety, Pat Young, says this dude is smart. That's Mayo making a play, and Gregory right there to get the tip ball.
Yeah, Mayo's tips that thing in the air, and how often do you see a defensive back, especially a veteran defensive back? There are just certain players the ball finds. And if that's the role that Gregory can fill in the middle of this Pats defense, that is invaluable to get those balls when they're available, because even the good throwers will make a pass available once in a while. 7th-year player out of Staten Island gets himself a pick.
And played collegiately at Syracuse, where, of course, Chandler Jones is from. Gregory's also a very good special teams player. He started 13 games at safety last year for the Chargers.
Yeah, the way this offensive line's performed so far for the Patriots, they better count on being in this game for a while unless they get a sustained drive. Otherwise, they're going to get some reps because they haven't exactly covered themselves in honor here early on. They've been dealt with pretty severely by this D-line.
Saints have been tough. Hoyer off target on an over-the-middle throw. Alex Silvestro, one of the tight ends on the roster, was the target over the middle of the field. The Saints really, Randy, like the Patriots, they use the middle of the field so well when they have the ball on offense. And maybe the Patriots are better even than the Saints. With there's owner Bob Kraft and Jonathan Kraft with John Calipari to go to the national champion basketball Kentucky Wildcats. Last year, Saints had a big year moving the ball. There were suspects sometimes on defense. Robert Kraft, the only owner in NFL history with 6 Super Bowl appearances.
And counting.
There's more on the way. There's the 3 wins, 01, 03, 04. First team ever to win 3 in 4 years. Last year the Patriots had almost 300 catches, most of them between the hashes. The 2 tight ends, and Welker works that area of the field so well.
When they get the ball back, when the Patriots get the ball back here, and it's going to be a first down, you got to talk about the wide receivers, because this is a group, and Robert Kraft and this organization loved guys like Dante Stallworth and Deion Branch and Jabbar Gaffney. They all made great big plays for the Patriots, but I tell you, this receiver group really finds themselves in a dogfight as to who's going to make this football team.
Okay, every player's good. As Pat Chung said yesterday, teams are all different in the NFL, but every player's good.
You know, that's a given with Welker, Lloyd. I think Edelman's just so valuable. Jabbar Gaffney is going to be around. Slater's so valuable. So how many are you going to keep? You know, it leaves you Deion Branch and Dante Stallworth really are the 2 guys that are going to have to battle it out, and Deion Branch isn't active tonight.
Tonight's positional lineup brought to you by Verizon, the official wireless and telecommunication provider of the New England Patriots. Throw and a catch, and Julian Edelman is down with the ball.
You know, and Edelman is able to be in on offense. He can play a little defense. He's very valuable on the special team side. And one of the names you saw on that receiver group was Matthew Slater. Well, all he is a Pro Bowl special teams player who can also play offense for you, maybe some defense if you had to. So, you know, if you're a Patriot, you better be versatile, and you better be able to pitch in a lot of different things.
Ready to pitch right now. Brian Hoyer, he makes the connection on a 3rd and 4 play. Edelman again on a crossing pattern. Safety John Amaya making the stop for the Saints.
That's going to be 4th and 1.
It's interesting, Randy, when we talked with Bill Belichick yesterday about game plan and philosophy for this preseason game, he said, game like this, you put them out there, let them play and see what happens.
Well, in some practices, these are called opportunity drills. Only this is an opportunity drill that lasts the whole game. There are guys getting invaluable opportunities to show what they can do.
Zoltan Mesko ready to show what he can do, and that's boom the ball. And he can put a foot into that ball. A high pitch coming up on it. Living dangerously is Joseph Morgan. He does turn the corner. And Morgan on the sideline run gets a big return.
Whether it's running into the kicker or roughing the kicker, on 4th and 1, this is going to be a first down for the Patriots, unless they call holding on the blocker, which I doubt.
Find out.
Running into the kicker, defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, running into the kicker is only a 5-yard penalty. Roughing the kicker is a personal foul.
95 is Martell's Wilson, a 2nd-year linebacker from Illinois.
A big physical inside linebacker.
No question he got him.
Who gets both legs. And Zoltan, you see why they take good care of the kickers. I mean, is there more of a definition of, a little bit of a flop. Ryan
Mallett's in at quarterback. He has a strong arm. Overshoots his target over the middle of the field. Jabbar Gaffney running an in pattern. Well, Mallett drafted in the 3rd round last year.
If just having a strong arm, Don, was the thing you had to have, then we put a jersey on a jugs machine. It could spin a ball out there about 80 yards. You know, Mallett has to prove he can lead an offense, read a defense, and more importantly, I think, make the quick decisions. We know, obviously, Brady can. Hoyer can. Can Mallett get the ball out fast?
Well, it looks like he's going to get a long look tonight. Here is Mallett. Second attempt is slapped down at the line of scrimmage. Akeem Hicks. Rookie slaps the ball back. There is Mallett, 6'6", 245. Built like a tight end.
He's a pretty slim down looking 245. I know coming out of Arkansas, he was built a little differently. I think the last year plus has done him well to sort of follow Tom Brady around and sort of do as I do.
What better mentor Here's the throw and a catch underneath. Not a whole lot of yards after it. Coming up with the ball is Dante Stallworth. Brady's been around long enough now that some of his receivers have played for the Patriots, gone somewhere else, and have recycled right back. Guys like Dante Stallworth and Jabbar Gaffney, Dion Branch. Mesko will punt again. Only score of the game was a 46-yard field goal by John Casey, giving the Saints that 3-0 lead in the first quarter. Mesko booms a high directional punt. It's out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. As good as you can do it. So the Saints will go on offense again. Randy, another treat. This one from Peter for president, apparently an independent candidate, but his question is, which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact this year on the Patriots? How about 95 as a starter? Huh?
Yeah, it's hard not to guess either Chandler Jones or Dante Hightower. I still think Hightower has the ability to add a little bit more versatility to this defense because he can do so many different things and come at you from different angles, whether it's inside linebacker, outside linebacker, or even maybe lining up as a defensive end.
Okay, this Chandler Jones, his brother was he isn't right now, I don't think, but he was a world champion ultimate fighter. They call him Bones Jones.
MMA.
Good throw in the flat. On the run is Courtney Roby. And he gets ahead close to the 24-yard line. First down, Saints. Kyle Arrington. He's the guy to get him out of bounds, but a nice misdirection read and throw. Sean Canfield in at quarterback.
Former Louisville Cardinal. Always looks a little bit different when suddenly you see a lefty in there.
Canfield, a big guy, another underneath throw. This one's on target. It's Higgins who makes the catch. Dante Hightower was on the stop.
Dante Hightower lines up at that inside linebacker position. Goes a little bit with that play action fake, and the ball is dumped out real quick to Higgins. Does a nice job. I think he's got to learn to wrap up on some of those tackles rather than assume an NFL runner is going to go out of bounds just because he's a big guy that can push.
Working those legs hard is Chris Ivory, who is a violent runner. Straight at you guy, no fair dodges, our old friend Jerry Glanville used to say.
Here you go. Here's Dante Hightower again, reading inside, staying inside, getting on Brown, the tackle, fighting him off. Sometimes those linebackers, it's the worst thing you can do is fill and get out of position. Dante's our fresh taste, fresh face from Subway.
He too, like Chandler Jones, has been very, very impressive in camp. But tonight's a big night for the first-year players, transitioning from the practice field to game action. As we are talking at the outset, NFL practice field is a demanding place. You have to learn fast and play hard. Players will tell you can't afford a bad practice.
Plus, this is an opportunity to really go full speed. With these new rules for practice, defenders, it can be almost understandable if you suffer a little in your tackling because they rarely get a chance to go full speed when it's not a game.
That is the truth. Right now it is full speed. As an over-the-middle throw is on target, coming underneath now, and making the catch is Andy Tanner.
There's a familiar name in on the tackle too there, Rob Carpenter, former Ohio State inside linebacker.
Right now, first down and 10. Saints moving the ball. Wow, what a shot put on the runner, Chris Ivory, who likes to deal out hits when he runs the ball. Hightower is the guy that blew him up. Boy, he is an explosive backer. Dante Hightower, a co-captain of an Alabama national championship team.
Yeah, that's one of the things you haven't seen so far is that fill and splatter And Hightower's lined up back here at linebacker. He sees the hole, he sees the runner, he fills. Again, he doesn't wrap up though. You got to wrap up on those tackles. You can't just explode and try to blow them up.
Dangerous throw into traffic. Cadet does make the catch. Saints.
Did Marcus Harrison, the D lineman, did he catch that?
Lucky they might have not signaled a change of possession.
Remember, tie goes to the runner, Don.
It was very close to a pick. It was Marcus Harrison who was on it. Bill Belichick now, what a career he's had in his 38th year coaching in the National Football League.
You can tell he still loves it though, Don, because every year is fresh. Every year it's back to being a teacher.
This is the unbelievable winning organization, but change is regular. They're ready to change at all times to improve the team.
Well, the constant now for 13 years has been Tom Brady, number 12 at quarterback. And you've mentioned on numerous occasions over these last couple of years, if your name's not Brady, your job's up for grabs. And there's even competition in Brady's mind that he's got to keep improving. He knows he can be caught.
Well, his teammates will tell you, he approaches every practice like it's a game. So he sets the pace for intensity. Julian Edelman fair catches the ball. Ray Parks was down to cover. Still 3-0 Saints.
Welcome back to Gillette Stadium, everyone. Sitting up in the booth, in Bob Kraft's booth, a lot of important people. John Calipari and Charlie Mona, the head coach of the UMass Minutemen. They will be here playing their home games right here at Foxborough Stadium. We'll be talking to Charlie at halftime. Let's send it back up to Don Cricket and Randy Cross. Guys?
Very good, Steve. Thank you. Charlie Molnar was an offensive coordinator at Notre Dame last season, sitting with Dan Kraft up there. Here's a between the hash throw. The target was Brandon Bolden, the rookie, Junior Gillette, who came in as a surprise 3 years ago. Nobody knew much about him. Pass rusher for the Saints, but he's hard to block.
Well, watch Ryan Mallett next time he throws the ball when he drops back here, and watch his delivery. See how long it takes him to get rid of the ball. And the longer it takes you to get rid of the ball, the longer the message is to the D lineman to get their hands up and get a chance to knock it down.
Running hard, running well is Brandon Bolden. Casillas takes him down. Game clock down to 3.5 minutes to play in the first half. Don Criqui with Randy Cross and Steve Burton here at Gillette Stadium. Preseason opener for the Patriots. Game number 2 of the preseason for the Saints, who defeated Kansas City last Sunday night. 17-10 in the Hall of Fame game at Canton, Ohio.
Here's a chance for that 4-minute drill. Can you run out the rest of this half? You got to stay on the field.
Hard throw on target. First down Patriots. Delivering the ball to Jabbar Gaffney with a tight spiral is their quarterback Ryan Mallett. And McElwain on the stop.
I mean, these are the kind of throws that catch people's attention with Ryan Mallett. I mean, that's 25 yards on a rope right at the inside number of Jabbar Gaffney.
Game clock running, as you see, down to 2:38 to go in the half. 3-0 Saints. Mallett, he's got a long ball arm, checks down nicely. Gets the ball to Tyler Urban, yet another tight end on the roster. He's got a first down out to the 47-yard line of the Patriots.
You know, Tom Brady has proved on several occasions you don't have to be able to sprint out of the pocket to move well. Here's an example of Mallett moving well out of the pocket. A little scooch up, buys himself a little time, and he's able to deliver the ball accurately on the move. Good, nice, tight motion.
Really does. He's got a flick of the wrist motion. Tremendous arm. Started at Michigan, left there when Rich Rodriguez came in with an option offense and went to Arkansas. There's the long ball arm. Could be a flag. Clearly pass interference, it would seem.
There was more than a little bit of hand fighting going on there. I thought Marcus Johnson, the corner for the Saints, gets that right hand. It's almost like an arm bar across the chest of the receiver.
No flag. Second down and 10. Patriots at their 47.
Well, it's preseason for everybody, even the guys in striped shirts. In fact, for some of them, it's their first game.
It is, yeah, at this level. Mallett, short drop, ball's live. It is intercepted at the 49-yard line. Big rush put on, and coming down with the ball was Aaron Tevis, or was Marcus Johnson they're going to give it to.
Well, Tyrone Walker, the young defensive lineman, he's the one that gets into Ryan Mallett's kitchen, gets up in that arm and pops that ball loose.
We're back to Gillette Stadium where the Saints are leading the Patriots 3-0 on a 46-yard first quarter field goal by the 22-year veteran John Casey. Now on an intercepted ball, the Saints regain possession. They'll be at the 49-yard line of the Patriots with 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Bill Belichick looking for answers and some of the officiating calls. It looked like a deep receiver was fouled on the way down the field. We showed that a bit ago. David White giving an explanation.
Well, these are replacement officials, and I'm not going to defend their calls or non-calls, but you know they're doing about the best they can. But this had nothing to do with the officials. This was good pressure by Walker. He gets right in Ryan Mallett's arm, knocks that ball up in the air, and there's nothing that Dante Stallworth can do except watch that ball be caught by Johnson.
Marcus Johnson with the interception. Canfield at quarterback.
Well, my goal right now, if I'm Dante Scarnecchia, second half, how about we don't get too many bruises on our quarterbacks?
Always a good game plan. Good way to keep your job if you're a blocker, and now trying to run to the outside to no avail. There's Travis Tavares Cadet from Appalachian State. Devin McCourty was the first hitter for the Patriots. Coming up on the NRG halftime report, Steve Burton will be along to talk with UMass head football coach Charlie Molnar, ready to begin his first season there, and we'll have first half highlights. That's all on the NRG halftime report. Ball at midfield, second down and 11. 3-0 game Saints, and they have the ball. Canfield, who finished his college career at Oregon State, the big left-hander, swings it out, goes low. Diving at the ball is Cadet. Got a lot of good backs on New Orleans. Pierre Thomas, Darren Sproles, Mark Ingram. It's going to be tough to make that roster as another running back.
Yeah, they have the same problem the Patriots have at that running back spot. They got quite a few real quality running backs, and Steve Burton knows a good running back when he sees it.
His father was one of the best. Steve was a fine quarterback for the Wildcats at Northwestern. Looking for Ron Burton running the ball for Ara Parsegian. A lot of games.
There's always a Notre Dame connection in there.
Well, that was when Ara was at Northwestern. When he was beating Notre Dame. Ara beat him twice and got the head check.
There's Chandler Jones back in the game to rush here in the last couple of minutes on third down. Look at that jersey. It's kind of untucked, and there's a reason for that. He was sort of de-padded and ready to be on the sidelines. Coaches said, excuse me, young fella, get back in there.
He told me yesterday, Randy, I'm going to be doing some stuff that you're going to be saying my name on the air. I said, we're ready. He's been doing some stuff. Courtney Roby on an over-the-middle catch. Tavon Wilson makes the stop. He was a high draft choice in April. Second-round pick, 48th pick overall by the Patriots. Out of Illinois, didn't make any of the postseason All-Star games or even the Combine, but Ron Zook thinks he's a great player. And now it's an interception by Pat Chung. Roby the target, and Pat Chung, one of the best, makes the pick.
That was a nice play by Chung, and also very nice job. Charles Brown, the tackle for the Saints, had to tackle Chandler Jones. He'll come into your flash into your screen on the right as he's going down. The tackle gets his arms around him, and Patrick Chung takes advantage of that ball being nowhere near the receiver.
Almost a room service interception. Served up to Patrick Chung.
Well, you hear the term over the linebacker, under the safety. That was over the linebacker to the safety.
That's it. Right on target. Pat Chung telling us that every team in the NFL is different when you play them, but you can be sure of one thing: every player is good. And a lot of them are going to get cut. And the guys that get cut by these two teams have a very good chance of getting picked up.
Yeah, they do.
Pat Chung got married in the offseason. Said he quickly learned, happy wife, happy life.
Smart kid. They obviously hit the books hard at University of Oregon.
He's a duck through and through, too. Reminder that coming up at halftime, the NRG halftime report. Steve Burton will be along to talk with head coach Charlie Molnar of the UMass Minutemen. We'll have first half highlights. It's all on the NRG halftime report. He's already interviewing him.
Is there a college coach that doesn't have high energy?
Well, you got to have it, I tell you. Recruiting's a 12-month business. Jabbar Gaffney, another guy who was here and gone and has come back now in his 11th year from the University of Florida.
You talk about a guy that's looked good too in camp. He's fit right back into this offense.
Real good in camp. Brady times up with these guys right away when they're back. Here is a throw and a catch. Well done by the Patriots. Diving across the 45-yard line with just 25 seconds to play. Here's Julian Edelman.
Yeah, plenty of time. Little timeout right now by the Patriots. Julian Edelman coming from the inside slot receiver all the way across the field. Again, Ryan Mallett does a nice job avoiding the pass rush. Steps up and just throws a little dart right in front of him to Edelman.
He did a great job with his feet in avoiding that rush indeed. Edelman, a guy who transitioned from a college quarterback at Kent State to where he's now a receiver to play defensive back. Good special teamer. Valuable guy. Julian Edelman now in his 4th year.
And a guy like Josh McDaniels, that offensive coordinator, he'll really appreciate all these great new toys. He's got a few older toys he knows how to use, like Stallworth and Gaffney and Branch and whatnot, but Edelman and Welker and company got a lot in future, a lot in the front.
Brandon Lloyd had a phenomenal year under the coaching of Josh McDaniel. Back in 2010, he had 77 catches at Denver for almost 1,500 yards. You're going to see a lot of Brandon Lloyd if you're playing the Patriots this year. He's a deep threat, a tremendous athlete. He high jumped 7.2 in high school. They say he's not super fast, but he does what few can do. He can get behind the safeties even in cover 2.
And he can make the catch. Not many can. That one you really got to have, that ball that's almost impossible to catch, those are the ones he can catch.
They talk about how he contorts his body, and here's a throw to nowhere. Hits artificial turf. We're down to 16 seconds to play. First half at Gillette Stadium.
Well, 3rd and long. You've got to figure 16 seconds to go. They've got 2 plays to either get this first down or to get themselves a chance to get down to, let's call it the 40. You know, Gostkowski could hit it from 57 theoretically, but you'd want to be inside the 40-yard line.
They screen the ball down. Woodhead does a lot better than the 40, gets down inside the 35-yard line.
Patriots call their last timeout. That was a textbook screen. You're going to see more screens, New England fans. Josh McDaniels loves the screen. And watch Wendell and Conley and Thomas. They do a really nice job of getting out in front of Woodhead.
And this, Randy, should be about a 51 or 52-yard field goal attempt by Gostkowski. Now in his 7th year from the University of Memphis. Hit 28 of 33 last season. And as you mentioned, he does have that long-range leg. Zoltan Mesko is the holder. Snap, set down good, kick on the way, a lot behind it. Wide left. And so that ends, well, there's 1 second left in the first half. As the score holds, New Orleans 3 and the Patriots nothing.
Well, that's where you have to evaluate what was the snap like. It was fine. The hold, the ball was down, the laces were spun. You mentioned how hard Gostkowski hit that ball. He just got a little tug on it. And that little tug resulted in a pull left.
So one play, and that will end the first half of play here at Gillette Stadium. 46-yard field goal by Casey. The only points of the night came in the first quarter. Saints down the ball, go to the locker room with a 3-point lead. New Orleans 3, New England nothing. Stay tuned for Steve Burton and the NRG halftime report. Patriots still scoreless in this first preseason game. Going to the locker room, see what's on the blackboard. Halftime report coming up after these messages. Welcome back to Gillette Stadium. Don Criqui with Randy Cross and Steve Burton. New Orleans Saints the opposition. They and the Patriots have scrimmaged for the last couple of days here at Foxborough. There is number 95, the first of 2 first-round draft choices, and there's the other, Hightower. Right now, tonight's first half stats are brought to you by the Massachusetts Lottery.
And the rushing yards, 40 of those yards on 5 carries belong to Stephen Ridley. So Ridley's still at that 5 yards a crack.
2 turnovers for each team. Never a happy stat for any coach. That'll be addressed.
Well, Steve Gregory and Patrick Chung both getting themselves an interception.
The Patriots will receive to start the third quarter. Edelman and Slater are back in their end zone. Kickoff from the 35-yard line.
Oh, that's made a difference.
Wow.
Yeah, when they changed that rule back to the 35 with the legs on some of these kickers.
Well, this guy Thomas Morstead, he had 68 kickoffs for touchbacks last year.
He's got the leg to put it through the uprights.
He does. He is looking to put it right through the uprights for a touchback. Instead, he kicks a line drive.
Down it,
ball.
down it.
He can down that. He's not gonna. That was a muffed ball. He could have downed it. So we go down to Steve Burton.
Okay, we're standing now with Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. And coach, your impressions of the first half so far?
Well, we got to score. I mean, we don't have any points, so hopefully we can find the end zone this half.
And I want to bring up Chandler Jones. I know it's only his first game, but just your impressions of him because he has looked pretty good.
We got a lot of guys out there. We've done some decent things, and there's a lot of things we got to work on and improve. But, this is a game where we take the first step, and we have many more to take, but this is the first one. So, we all got a long way to go.
Coach, good luck to you. Good luck in the second
Steve.
half.
All right, thank you. Thanks.
Now back to live action. Patriots going deep in their own end. That was targeted to Alex Silvestro, number 49, a tight end. Brian Hoyer's in at quarterback.
Yeah, that answers the question you asked at the break about Mallett getting a long look. And this is something that's very important, is that ability to just sort of spring back, especially at the beginning of a half. You've got to be able to come in off a break and lead an offense, especially when you see a bad decision by Edelman there, I think, by bringing that ball out.
Now a run by Shane Vereen, who had very limited playing time, was hurt almost all of last year. He was the second-round pick out of the Cal Berkeley team. Really good player. Didn't get a chance to show it last year. But they feel good about an array of young runners headed by Ridley and Vereen.
And Woodhead's had a history, and here you get a case of Vereen's on the right side in the slot as a receiver with an empty backfield.
Timing throw on target, out to the 20. First down Patriots as Shane Vereen, a sure-handed receiver out of the backfield, makes the play.
And Vereen came out of that University of California Jeff Tedford offense. very much a pro-style offense. So, in talking to him yesterday, he mentioned that he was familiar with the concepts, both in pass protection and getting down the field and out of the backfield as a receiver.
Had a good catch play there. Vereen again turning the corner. Good change of pace move. Vereen is 5'9", 205.
He's a solid 205 too. He really impresses when you see him in person. Not the tallest guy. He's got some good quicks. And he's got the ability to get that edge. And I don't think he's going to hesitate running inside out of these spread formations either.
What's very impressive about these guys, and it's a big part of getting drafted, is how they react to questions. I mean, these guys are smart guys. I guess you have to be to identify with an NFL offense, make the adjustments you have to make play after play, but they're impressive to talk to. Ridley and Vereen. Lawrence Wilson, linebacker, makes the stop.
Well, here's a big play for this offensive line. I mentioned earlier that they hadn't played much or very well in the first half. You've got Cannon is still in there at right guard. Still have Conley in at center.
Hoyer over the middle throw. It's easier to measure the throw in between the hashes, and a penalty marker is fired in from way back.
It's going to be a little defensive pass interference, I think. Could have been called either way. Almost looked like a pick play. Little rub right over the ball by the Pats.
Illegal contact on the defense, number 42. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Let's watch this high end zone replay, Randy.
Yeah, and the contact, watch right about here as the receivers cross. You see the contact in the hold. That was a good call. That came from the far back, all the way back in the defensive backfield, the judge there.
Last year in the regular season play, the Patriots passed 54% of the time on first down. Ready to throw on first down. Brian Hoyer. Man, he hits his target in the shoulder pads. Britt Davis. That ball was live, almost a pick.
Well, not every play, every pass can be perfect. This is an example. You've got to be able to make a play. He wasn't ready to catch the ball, pure and simple. Britt came out of that break. His head didn't snap around. Ball was slightly thrown behind him. But he puts it on the body. You got to catch that.
Britt Davis, first-year player from Northern Illinois. And now Vereen, you were talking, Randy, about his breakaway ability. And he changes speeds, goes down the field for an 18-yard gain for the Patriots and a first down.
Yeah, remember, Shane Vereen, he had to share a little bit. You think of all the backs, Forsett and company that have come out, Javid Best out of that offense at Cal. You got to learn to share the ball. He'll get a chance to share this running back position.
Again, Vereen, both arms on the ball. Ball security is number 1. Getting yards is number 2.
And we talk about this running back position in general, and the 5 guys that are here tonight. When you talk running back, Eric Katani from Navy, he's basically kind of a fullback / lead back. So the rest are halfbacks. And I got to think the guy that's going to have the hardest time making the team is probably Banks.
Another well-timed throw on target to Katani. The big back from the Naval Academy. Jose Gums was the safety who made the stop. Well, as Bill Belichick told us, he said, when you play in the NFL, there are times when you know you have to throw, they know you have to throw, but you have to execute it, and the same with the run game. And I think they really want to establish the run game here tonight, Randy, which they're doing with these young backs. Another run. Vereen, but not moves. And he can play down inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line.
And with this passing game, having the ability to run your screens and run your draws, and most of these good runs here in the second half have been draws. And Vereen, look at his ability to hop in a hole and then go left. He's in the hole, then he's gone. Then he's in another hole and he darts right. May not have a clock or a hand speed as far as the clock goes, but he's got some serious quicks.
He does. And those serious quicks resulted in a 13-yard gain. This time a misconnection on the route, incomplete pass. So the Patriots moving the ball much better on this drive with 11:10 to play in the third quarter. Still a 3-0 game. The Saints scored their only points, the game's only points, on a 46-yard field goal in the first quarter by John Casey, the 22-year veteran.
Gostkowski's got plenty of leg for this, but what they're thinking is touchdown here. They're thinking extra point.
Again, they go to Vereen, and that now is 6 carries. Actually, Payne Vereen with his 6th carry. Good for about 55 yards total.
Now here's a good picture of making decisions as a running back. Hoyer comes out, gives him the ball inside, and there's a quick decision. 2 yards in the backfield. He makes that quick hop to the right. As soon as he makes that quick hop, that's when the speed kicks in. He gets into the hole and up the field.
Change of direction speed is what makes the great ones more than straight line speed. Vereen again. So right now, this third quarter is Shane Vereen's coming out party.
Well, you talked, Don, about being able to throw the ball when you really have to throw the ball when everyone knows it. I think running the ball when everyone knows you have to run the ball has been the missing ingredient from this Patriots offense. The hammer, the closer. That's what's been missing over the last few years.
No question. The Patriots were the #1 offensive team from a scoring standpoint in the AFC last year.
Number 97.
32 points a game.
Penalty.
Penalty call. Signal against Swanson Miller. Here's Swanson, number 97.
Yeah, he pointed against the Patriots, but it's against the defense.
Well, I tell you, every camp you go to, there's a lot of guys you may not have heard of, a lot of big guys. They can all run fast.
I'd be willing to bet you there's 20 scouts here tonight from around the league, at least 20. Now another lack of poise play by the Saints D is going to cost him some more yards.
Tyron Walker is signaled for that foul. David White, our referee, checks for a number.
Encroachment defense, number 75. Penalties half the distance to the goal. First down.
Number 75, Tyron Walker.
Well, you get down here now, you're on the 4-yard line. You know, in the regular offense, this is the situation that puts a defense in a bind with the tight ends that the Patriots have. But in this situation, heck, give it to Vereen. Let him finish what he started.
If they don't, an over middle of throw to the tight end could be the game plan. Touchdown, New England Patriots. Rip Davis, who had one bounced off him, now scores his first points as an NFL player. Good move, got a yard deep in the end zone, turned and the ball was there, and the Patriots take the lead.
Man, that's something as a football player, as a fan, when you see this live and in person, really impresses you, because watch Hoyer, he puts his whole body into this. This is a heater. This ball is moving when he sticks this on the receiver, Holly, and he's able to bring it in.
Extra point by Gostkowski is boomed up and through, and so the Patriots, an impressive drive. Down the field they go. Touchdown throw. And happiness breaks out on the Patriots sideline. Gillette Stadium on this warm August night. A very impressive drive. A 14-play, 97-yard drive by the Patriots. Vereen was the bell cow. 7 carries for 63, 1 reception for 10 yards. 73 of the yards, and the Patriots take it in on the touchdown throw to Rip Davis.
It was screens, it was draws, it was Brian Hoyer, and it was by far, execution-wise, from the line and the whole offense, their best drive of the night.
It was by far. Now Copeland will kick off. Chris Copeland, a former UMass Minuteman. Big leg, man, he hits it. Joseph Morgan lets it go out of bounds. Touchback. Let's watch number 17 score his first touchdown.
Britt Davis obviously excited.
In the lead, Don Criqui with Randy Cross at Gillette Stadium. 97-yard drive by the Patriots here in the third quarter, their first score of the night. And we have a familiar face in the radio booth now, Scott Zolak, a man, the king of all media. He's doing radio and now TV. And as you know, Scott is going to replace one of the great names in Patriot history, both as a player and a broadcaster, the great Gino Cappelletti. I know it's a great honor for you, Scott, to be in that booth, and you well deserve it.
I miss you guys. I want my TV back, man. I miss being on the sidelines, but to have the opportunity to I don't want to use the word replacing it. I told the great Gil Santos this, the legend Gil Santos, that it's kind of a transition period. You know, Gino opted to retire, and it was great that they incorporated me on the sideline last year, and I think it helped that transition. But you know, it's fun. It's a great opportunity for me. I love this team. I got a lot of passion for it. I played in this offense, and plus the benefits of radio, they keep you hydrated. So I've been pounding through the Diet Pepsi, something you guys didn't do.
We didn't keep you hydrated.
There you go.
We figured you guys did.
You let me sweat on those sidelines.
Hey, Zo, what have you thought so far about these Patriots?
Pretty much what I expected. I think New Orleans benefiting from playing a game last week, Randy. They've got their feet wet, and they looked a lot more crisp in the first half than the Patriots did. But I tell you what, and there's been a lot of buzz, obviously, about the first-round draft picks, Hightower and Jones. Chandler Jones looks pretty darn good, and Hightower can hit. Defensively, they look fine. Offensively, I don't think they've really had a chance to get in any kind of a rhythm. It's vanilla right now. I wouldn't be alarmed by it. It's the first preseason game, and I think it may have been good for Tom Brady to get hit a little bit.
Yeah, they also have kind of a work in progress up front in that offensive line.
Yeah, frustrating, as you know, Randy, to have different guys in and out. You got a guy like it's an all-pro in Mankins, and of course Brian Waters played at an all-pro level last year. I assume he's coming back week one, and it's not like Mankins is a route runner or receiver. I think coming back from an ACL surgery now, who am I to judge ACL surgery? I'm not a doctor. As we see, who's that? Was that Sterling Moore almost intercepting the ball there as I pick up my TV responsibility?
You're Scott, what about...
I get a check for this?
You're painting the pictures with the words.
Yeah, you got a check. There's nothing on it, but...
Oh, thanks, Todd. That's a good one.
Scott, how about the position battles? Where do you see the tightest race? This team down to the 53.
You know, the scary thing, not the scary thing, but I might have to rethink the way I look at this roster. You think running backs, I never really anticipated that a fullback would be used so much as it was here in the first half. You have Katani in there. They may pick somebody else up. I don't know. And you forget how much Josh McDaniels likes to incorporate that. Look at the screen game, and I think wide receiver, you know, at the end of the day, Slater's going to be here. I think they're counting him as a receiver. You got Edelman, who's so versatile. Yeah, I think it's going to be between Deion Branch and Dante Stallworth. And back to you guys. Guys, I miss you. Thanks for the shout-out.
Thanks, Zo.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Scott. Scott Zolak with Gil Santos on the radio side for the Patriots. To Gillette Stadium nearby, overlooking the field at the CBS Scene, a restaurant, a really good one. Everybody having a good time on Thursday night in Foxborough. There is Pat Chung, a first half well played by Pat, including an interception. There's his running mate at safety now, Greg. I'll tell you, those two guys, they're going to be a factor. Two good safeties. The punt. Boom downfield by Morstead. Fair catch by Julian Edelman at the 16-yard line. So with 8:43 to play in the third quarter and the Patriots in the lead to 7-3. Leave for a moment.
Back, Patriots and Saints, first preseason game of the year. And Don and Randy, I got to tell you, I'm here at the Patriots Pro Shop. And if you ever want a jersey or a t-shirt, trust me when I tell you, this is the place you want to be. They have a wide selection of everything. I mentioned a wide selection is the widest selection of player jerseys, including throwbacks. And if there's a player who you like that they don't have, they can customize it that very day in just a few hours. Now, the Patriots staff has been telling us about how much fans have liked the new Nike products. Well, there are plenty of them. The massive variety of hats and women's and men's apparel, both for casual wear and dry fit gear for working out. I've heard customers saying this is the best Patriots gear they've seen. So remember, if you want to support the team directly, visit the Patriots Pro Shop for everything you could ever want. Don and Randy, back to you.
Okay, next time I'm in there, I'm getting me a Wilfork.
Yeah, there's a lot of customers to Steve Burton's shop right here.
Number 12s are moving well, but I'm going to get a 75. They got to scale it down a little. I don't get the triple XL like Vince wears. Here is a handoff running with the ball to Shane Vereen across the 20-yard line and up close to the 22.
We gotta maybe get you a Gronk. We'll drop the Kowski. We'll just put you in the 87 and put Gronk across the back.
Well, I used to deliver milk in the summer in suburban Buffalo where his family lived. We didn't have them on our route. We wouldn't have gone out of business like we did. Gronkowski brothers, they'd be good for 5 gallons of delivery 3 times a week. That was a great job. Here now is Brian Hoyer throwing downfield. Going high for the ball is Jesse Holley.
Actually a pretty good throw by Hoyer because he gets this right over the top of the Saints defender and he puts it where really only Holley can get to it. Goes right through the hands. You're not going to get too many of those chances, young man. You better take advantage of them.
Now the Patriots will punt with a 7-3 lead, and Joseph Morgan is back. Morgan backpedaling to his 26, catches it on the run. People come hitting. And so the Saints take over the ball, trailing for the first time 7-3. Next broadcast brought to you by Ace Ticket, the official travel partner of the Patriots. For more information, call 1-800-MY-SEATS or visit aceticket.com. Friday, August 24th. Patriots will be in Tampa to take on the Buccaneers under their new coach, Greg Schiano. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern Time on the Patriots Preseason Television Network.
Yeah, the Bucs had a 10-game losing streak last year. Got their head coach, Raheem Morris, fired, but Greg Schiano is a no-nonsense coach from the Parcells, Belichick kind of mold. I think he's going to be very successful with the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Well, Greg got the Rutgers program turned around, and he has indeed, Randy, instilled discipline down there. Some guys learned quickly. They were out of there. He got a terrific player in the first round, I think, a safety from Alabama, Mark Barron. Handoff, running with the ball is Traveris Cadet. He's out close to the 39 as the Saints are working now with their fourth quarterback of the night, Luke McCown, in there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how that, in 2 weeks, how that Tampa Bay running game. You know, Doug Martin, the kid from Boise State, they brought him in. Already had LeGarrette Blount, who is, to put it bluntly, is a little bit of a power runner.
Yeah, he was undrafted too, Blount. 1,000 yards his first year. Chris Ivory runs the ball and gets close to the 39-yard line. Trevor Scott was the tackler. And here is referee David White.
Yeah, you watch some of these individual players, there's plenty of stuff to learn from. Even the better players, a guy like Hightower.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
They say around the Patriots, you've got to learn fast, play hard, and know your job and do your job.
There's Marcel Jones right there at right tackle. And he gets a whole lot of jersey working against Trevor Scott, who lined up at defensive end.
Hard throw, good comeback at the ball. Very well played by Courtney Roby. He's been having a terrific camp for the Saints. These 2 days of workouts which we were at, Randy, that's great football. I mean, it's the Best Buy in football. 15,000 people a day were there, no admission. You get to watch 2 teams like this go at it. I mean, they go hard.
Well, I tell you, it was full plus. I mean, if the official attendance is 15,000, there were a couple of thousand extra, I think.
Over the middle throw, and a lot of the guests. There's military people here. One of the most impressive things you'll see, Stacey James of the Patriots leading the military people who are guests of the Patriots off the field. Marines, Navy, Army, Air Force, all in uniform. Don't you know those Patriot fans gave them a standing ovation as they walked off.
Getting a heck of an ovation from the fans. Just saying thank you.
Now Edelman is back, anticipating the punt. Morstead, a long-range punter, hits the spiral. This one doesn't go too long. Edelman does a great job picking the ball up on the bounce. Randy, those Twitter questions are rolling in. Andrew 247 wants to know, when the offensive line struggles in the preseason, what types of measures will Coach Scarnecchia take to tighten things up?
Well, one of the things that makes your offensive line coach so valuable here in New England is he's all about fundamentals. And it's got a lot to do with not moving your feet, not bending your knees, not having your hands in the proper position, and being the hittee instead of the hitter. When contact's coming, you've got to be the one that initiates it, and there are very few teachers in this league better than Dante Scarnecchia at getting that message across to his offensive linemen.
As you see by his title, he's more than just the offensive line coach. They think so highly of him, he's the assistant head coach. Last year, I remember Tom Brady telling us, he worked with 4 different centers, and they were all ready to play. Beautifully executed screenplay to Vereen. He takes a wallop, keeps on rolling. Coming down to hit him with a shoulder jolt is Marquis Johnson, who had an interception earlier.
You know, and if you're playing preseason fantasy football or United Healthcare Fantasy Fit, the best fit has got to be Shane Vereen and the stats he's putting up. He'd make a fantasy owner pretty happy in the regular season.
Almost 8 yards a carry tonight. Vereen again, and a terrific open field tackle by Corey White, a rookie from Samford University.
There's a lesson. That's a lesson right there for Shane Vereen. Don't look, go. Because when you start looking and you start hesitating, there's somebody who's going to fill and smack you.
So punter on the field again. Zoltan Mesko again left foots the ball. They'll make the team by fair catching, and so they attempt to run it back. Traveris Cadet, the rookie from Appalachian State. You know that Pierre Thomas, Darren Sproles, and Mark Ingram are going to make the team. They got another good rookie back in Joe Banyard. Look at our drive of the game, the Tundra, Toyota Tundra drive of the game.
And that last Twitter question was about the offensive line and Dante Scarnecchia, their coach. He'll love watching this one because this was Shane Vereen on a draw, Shane Vereen on a screen, Shane Vereen on another draw, on a straight handoff, and finishing it off with a nice bullet to Britt Davis for a touchdown.
Good numbers by Shane Vereen, Randy.
Yeah, so far 11 carries for 64 yards and 2 catches for 17 yards. And there's the final. Britt gets that ball and it's right on the goal line. Remember, it's only got to crease it.
Second down. Saints select to power run the ball again as the game clock down to 3:12 to play in the third quarter. The Patriots leading 7-3 on a 97-yard drive in the third quarter. 14 plays. Most of the yardage, 73 of them, came running and receiving by running back Shane Vereen, and then Britt Davis caught a touchdown pass from Hoyer on the payoff end. Four punt fakes. hesitates.
Gets creamed by Trevor Scott. You hold the ball long enough, one of the D linemen will come through and give you what you want, which is a pretty good smack.
Trevor Scott from the University of Buffalo is a fifth-year player, was with the Raiders last year. The Patriots this offseason had defensive ends Jonathan Fanene and Trevor Scott, and safety Steve Gregory. And in addition, as mentioned, they drafted their first 6 draft choice were on the defensive side of the ball.
And over on the other side of the defense at defensive end, 68, is Justin Francis out of Rutgers.
Talk about his motor, Justin Francis. He's impressed people.
Well, and if you're a young defensive lineman, what you have to do, not only show people you have that motor, you don't have to just impress them with your effort. You got to play defense when you get the chance, and man, you better be a demon on special teams.
Stephen Moore comes up and makes the tackle on Cadet. You got to think, Randy, that pretty soon the Saints are going to go over the top with something. They keep running the ball, down by 4. A lot of time to go.
Well, this is the time, if you're a football team in your opening game, and even for the Saints, it's their second game, you stay with the plan you wanted. You wanted to emphasize one thing. If you wanted to run the ball, you just keep running the ball.
Well, they're emphasizing it. Now they are looking there. The over-the-top throw. A man is out there, has the defense beaten. And a penalty marker is fired in. It'll be a long penalty yardage assessment against the Patriots. Sterling Moore interfere with Joseph Morgan.
Well, the ball is hung out there so well, very obviously. You know, you've got the receiver, Joseph Morgan, so far ahead of Moore, but the ball comes up short. So as Morgan hesitates.
Defense, number 27. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, this has got to be 29 Moore, because he's the one that runs right up on the receiver, because as Morgan comes back to the ball, Moore just runs right up his back and never turns back for the ball.
46-yard penalty. So the Saints now challenging to take back the lead. Cadet. Ball on the field.
The Patriots had it early. Do they have it late?
Rivera's Cadet, he's running into brick walls tonight. What's there for him?
Well, he runs right up into the back of his lineman. You talked about that earlier, a little power play, which is just beautifully stuffed in there. That's a really nice job by Nico Kudavides at linebacker, stuffing that big offensive lineman back into the backfield. And that's what happens very often, is that running back runs into his own lineman and that ball just drops to the ground. He's not expecting to get hit by his own guy.
He got hit. He's rushed 7 times for 22 yards. Well, now down to the 12-yard line. Again to Cadet. Jeff Tarpinian, second-year linebacker from Iowa, was covering on the play for the Patriots, number 53. Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator. Luke McCown, 9-year veteran out of Louisiana Tech. Marker down on the play.
That's right over the middle of the field, right where you usually see hands to the face or holding.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 69 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Joe Vitt, who is the acting head coach, while Sean Payton is out for the season on suspension, and Joe Vitt, as part of the bounty gate, he'll miss the first 6 games. So they haven't identified who's going to be the head coach of those first 6 games yet, Randy.
That's what's called a coach to be named later.
Yes. The guy in a trade like a player to be named later. Well thrown ball by McCowan. They get the ball down close to the 10-yard line of the Patriots. Tarpinian on the tackle.
Well, they're going to kick a field goal here. They've had that nice long drive. And why risk the possibility of not getting any points out of it, though here in the preseason, this is the perfect time of the year to do something a little out of the box in this situation. And don't put a fake past them.
Garrett Hartley in to try the field goal. Set up by the catch a moment ago by Andy Tanner. Be a 27-yard field goal when they kick it, but before they do, time runs out. That's the end of 3 quarters of play. Special teams coach Scott O'Brien waving his guys over. Patriots in the lead now 7-3. Back and ready to start the 4th quarter of play. Don Quickie with Andy Cross and Steve Burton at Gillette Stadium, 7-3. Patriots in the lead over New Orleans. Saints who led early 3-0. Led at halftime 3-0. Ready to inch closer if they hit this 27-yard field goal. Garrett Hartley is in. The opening play of the 4th quarter.
Well, Chase Daniels was the holder earlier on their last try. Now Morstead, the punter, is in there as holder.
He puts it down. Kick is on the way. It's good. It's a 7-6 game. The Saints will kick off when we come back. When you want to really enjoy yourself when you come to Gillette Stadium, try the Champions Brew Pub, one of the new additions to Gillette Stadium this year. The stadium overhauled all 38 concession stands over the offseason, adding new menu items, even dedicating some of the stands to healthy choices like salads and wraps.
You know, and Don, we're always talking about the different projects that the Crafts have going on and how they respond to what the fans want. And every year there's something new. You remember a couple years ago they added the huge video boards, and then last year they renovated the club level, and there's more to come too. Hearing a lot about the stadium. This one, Gillette Stadium, be the first one in the NFL to have free Wi-Fi, and I'm talking about free high-power Wi-Fi throughout the entire stadium. And the Crafts do such a great job of kind of staying ahead of the curve. That's why so many other teams and organizations, I think, study what this organization does from a marketing and sales standpoint, because they're all about giving their fans in this in-stadium experience what they want.
And the free Wi-Fi, Randy, all the better to tweet you.
Well, that's the future of the NFL. The future in the in-stadium experience. People want to be able to keep track of their fantasy teams. They want to be able to see highlights on their apparatus.
Jeremy Ebert lets the ball bounce by him, intentionally doing so. Rookie from Northwestern and a good player. He's been showing up in camp, the 7th-round draft choice, who was an all-Big Ten receiver last year. Tom Brady's been out since the 1st quarter. Got some early work. And hopefully that eye's all right. He's still dabbing at it, though. He apparently got something in his eye when he was knocked to the field. Ryan Mallett now comes in at quarterback.
Probably still trying to wash some of those rubber pellets out of there.
Patriots break it. Brandon Bolden, the rookie from Mississippi, breaks a gap. 12-yard gain.
Yeah, and here's what Brandon Bolden brings. And it's not the shiftiness of Vereen. He's a point A to point B. He'll make some moves, but he runs with some real nice pop behind him.
Bolden got power. He's 5'11", 220. Bolden again. It could be the showcased back here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and a good pickup. You know, an undrafted rookie free agent. Had a pretty stellar junior year. Kind of limped through his senior year. Still played, but was banged up most of the year and didn't get drafted. And he's getting a chance here in New England with this organization to add a little something to this this running back group.
He's a Louisiana guy from Baton Rouge. Jeremy Ebert makes the catch. He caught 75 last year at Northwestern.
Jeremy Ebert looks like another Julian Edelman, who looks like another Wes Welker. Kind of the same mold. Not real big, but shifty and good spinners.
Yeah, watching those guys the other day, Randy, from field level, I mean, the unbelievable quickness. Players like Darren Sproles, Wes Welker, they really they get low too. They're hard to find out there for those people.
Oh, they really are, and you get a play where you're bringing a Darren Sproles. Remember we were in the plus 20 area, and they crossed Jimmy Graham, the big tight end, with Sproles coming right behind him. I mean, you get a 6'6", 260-pound tight end. Sproles disappeared behind that guy.
He uses him as a screen. Here's a punt. Joseph Morgan is back. Well-placed directional punt, knocked out of bounds. Zoltan Mesko with his directional punting skills. We'll be back after this 50-yard punt. Keep coming. Here's another one for you.
Yeah, who's going to be the best addition to the Patriots this year? From Hanny Navy. I'll read it like that. But I'm kind of torn between Jabbar Gaffney and Brandon Lloyd. I think both those receivers are going to add a lot of big plays for their quarterback right there on the sideline. You see him talking to Tom Brady. He's familiar with what Jabbar Gaffney can do with him, but he's going to learn to love what Brandon Lloyd can bring to the game.
Brandon Lloyd, he's lit it up in camp. Joseph Morgan on the receiving end. He's out to the 21-yard line of the Saints, and they proceed now with a second down coming up, second down in about 3. Down by 1 with 13 minutes to play in the game. Hernandez, without the helmet in the background there, he's another guy that's just looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it's scary watching him in one-on-ones against defensive backs and remembering that he's just a tight end. Of course, he's not just the regular tight end, but he's got such exceptional quicks for a guy that size.
Looking at Tom Brady, he had some interesting quotes in the offseason. One of them was, "No one on the outside sees the pressure our players are under to perform. If you don't perform, you won't be in this business long." And he's not talking about undue pressure. He said it's with the coaches on themselves. He said that you just have to do it right if you're going to stay in this league.
Well, just look at the roster for the Patriots. 12 to 15 spots every year opens up.
That many, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean that's just turnover. That's churning the bottom part of your roster. That's churning some of your backups. And that's just good, smart football competition. We talked about at the very beginning of our broadcast that, you know, the theme is change and competition, and Bill Belichick demands that his players compete every single day, and doesn't have a better example of that than Tom Brady.
There's another running play, and it's good for a first down. Well, the best remarks I've heard in a while about Bill Belichick came from our mutual friend John Madden, the John Madden of Oakland Raider and broadcasting fame. Asked him why the Patriots are good every year. He says, "I'll tell you why they're good." He said, "Because Bill Belichick never sits back and admires his work. And because he never sits back, his players never sit back and admire their work. Everybody grinds, because to win in this league, you have to grind." It's John Madden.
Yeah, and the only years you probably grind harder aren't the years you win a Super Bowl. They're probably the years you finish second in a Super Bowl.
Penalty, first down.
You're even more obsessed and more driven.
Now, these don't come flying through your transom, those banners. Who can forget that year? Wow. 50 touchdown passes by Brady, 2007. Patriots have been to 5 Super Bowls in the last 10 years.
And you see some of the things this organization does. It all starts with Robert Kraft and from the top down. He and his son Jonathan, and the way that they run this football team. And Bill Belichick and everyone associated with the scouting and drafting, I think, has done such a special job the last few years of recrafting this defense.
Bob Kraft talks about the strategic planning you have to have in the salary cap era to maintain a football team. You have to have your core players, and then you have to fill in with what you can spend on guys that help you be a winner along with those core players.
Well, last year, without any offseason, without any real teaching, this football team and its head coach Bill Belichick had to go with, I think, some defensive players that were more experienced and not so much the ones that they could just flat teach. They had to play some of the young guys they had drafted the year before. But, you know, when you look at these last two defensive drafts, 2010 and 2012, you know, Spikes has been a great add. McCourty's so versatile. Jermaine Cunningham, healthy, contributing now. Chandler Jones, Hightower, Tavon Wilson at safety. You know, this could really be a chance to lay down and layer some good young veterans on this defense as they drive towards another Super Bowl.
I like some of these good young rookies, too. The guy who really showed up tonight was Chandler Jones, the first of 2 #1 draft choices. He was unblockable. They talk about it, you know, he's got arms like the long arm of the law. He gets his man. Yep. He's always smiling.
Well, and Bill Belichick is always the first one to say, like he told Steve Burton at halftime, yeah, everybody's got a long way to go. And that young man is no exception. He has got a long way to go. But with his tools, I think it's going to be a little less bumpy ride than it is for a lot of young players.
Well, we talked to Belichick. We mentioned some of the guys look really good in some of the scrimmages. That nobody's in mid-season form on our team. And how could you be?
Yeah, and the thing that separates some young players is young players come in here ready to learn. And Patrick Chung, his observation with Dante Hightower and Chandler Jones specifically was they were young guys that were ready to come in. And even a guy like Josh Beckett, you just saw there, 66, another rookie that, according to Patrick Chung, he says these are young guys that kind of learn like veterans.
Yeah, he was in there with Trevor Scott. Jake Beckett from Arkansas, 3rd-round draft choice. He had 23 sacks in the SEC. That's hard to do. Jake Beckett. So Morstead booms another punt. Comes out. And the Patriots take over with a 1-point lead. Who dat? It's the Pats. That's the Pats are down in New Orleans. Who dat? Going to beat those Saints. Welcome back to Gillette Stadium. 8:56 to play. Patriots with 1-point lead. Mallett back in. Fastball comes in low, incomplete.
Patriots would love to start and finish the year with the Saints, or at least with New Orleans. The Super Bowl this year is down in New Orleans.
Is it ever?
And you see Davis holding that shoulder after coming off, trying to go down. Comes right down on the point of his shoulder when he did land trying to catch that ball.
Brandon Bolden straight ahead.
You know, as these shoulder pads have gotten smaller, more of the shoulder and upper arm is exposed. Right there you see Davis drives down on that upper part of his arm, and doesn't it take him long to diagnose what happened.
He had a touchdown catch earlier. Right now, Mallett looking down. Oh, he can throw hard. Comes in high, incomplete. I remember doing, Randy, the first game the Saints ever played. They came into the league with the late, great Norm Van Brocklin on the first play of the game, a kickoff, a rookie from South Carolina State, John Gilliam. Ran the opening kickoff against the Rams back, LA Rams then. 94 yards for a touchdown, and the late commissioner, Pete Rozelle, when he retired, said it was still the most exciting moment he saw in the NFL. I mean, Tulane Stadium, 80,000, went crazy.
And they've had some incredibly memorable moments. The Dempsey kick, the Super Bowl year.
I did the Dempsey kick too, 63 yards. Straight ahead, Cadet runs it back out to the 40-yard line. So with a 1-point lead, the Patriots and the Saints go to timeout. They're up 7-6. Don Crickey with Randy Cross, Steve Burton. Our player close-up is brought to you by Pepsi, official soft drink of the New England Patriots.
And it's on Chandler Jones, a young man. We mentioned he's got a long way to go, but I've seen young defensive linemen especially that come in right away trying to rush that get pancaked. He's made quite an impression, especially on Jermon Bushrod, the veteran left tackle for the Saints.
He wasn't one of those names that all the football talk shows had projected and identified going into the draft, was he? I mean, the teams knew about him. He had some injuries last year at Syracuse, didn't play a whole lot. And he's healthy like he is now. Wow. He's got that wow factor on the defensive side of the ball. Chandler Jones, 6'5", 265.
When you talked a little bit earlier, we talked earlier about Jake Beckett, the defensive end, 66. He's got the same kind of thing. He's one of those guys that just has a knack for getting to the ball. He's at right defensive end, 66.
Chandler going over and talking to the other #1 draft choice, Dante Hightower. Happy guys. It's great to be young and a Patriot, I guess.
It's great to be young, a high draft pick, and have a heck of a bank balance.
First rounders, that does pay well.
Well, they're getting a good look at a lot of different players too, Don.
They are.
Because usually the rookies, the young guys, don't get the chance to sit much late in the game. They're usually in.
Traveris Cadet, yet another touch. Will Allen, a 12-year veteran, was on the stop as we're down to 6:47 to play. In a 1-point game, the Saints looking to get in field goal range.
You talk about battles at positions. The defensive backfield is going to be an interesting group too, because they've got such good talent at safety. I think it's going to necessitate maybe less corners than normal. Though most of the safeties that play for the Pats can almost by demand have to play the same kind of techniques and the same kind of role as a corner at times.
As Bill Belichick told us, at least we don't have to cut anybody for 3 weeks so you get a long look at them.
Second and long. We'll see if this D-line get a little pressure.
Luke McCown in the shotgun. Good break up at the 35-yard line. Joseph Morgan was the target.
Nice job by Razai Dowling, getting there right on time, right as the ball arrived.
There's another guy, he was actually the first pick in the second round last year. Was hurt most of the year, but he brings a lot. He's a real player, Razai Dowling.
Well, you think of guys like he and Shane Vereen that got here and got injured and didn't really get a chance to contribute too much early in their rookie years, and the possibilities what could happen this year.
Waiting on the throw. McCown gets it off to Andy Tanner.
Nice job by Beckett and Scott coming from the defensive ends. They put the pincher move in Matt Patricia's defense, and here comes the pincher from the outside on McCown. Scott, and Beckett spins his way in and wisely makes a move up and jumps up as the bodies start coming down around his legs.
Saints regular season opener on September 9th will be against Robert Griffin III and the Redskins at the Superdome.
Griffin had a pretty good little evening for his first professional venture. I think he was 4 of 6 for about 70 yards. He's going to get a chance to do a lot of very exciting things there in Washington, but he's got a nice defense and a good running game to go with that roll and boot and sprint out kind of offense Mike Shanahan wants to run.
And the Patriots, as you know, Randy, will be going to Nashville to play the Tennessee Titans. They could have a new quarterback in the lineup, Jake Locker, by that time.
And watch out for those Titans this year. Mike Munchak's going to have a tough, smart, physical team that is going to beat you right smack between the eyes. I mean, it's going to be a tough, physical team. And they've got a runner in Chris Johnson who I think has got something to prove to everybody else in the league. And they're going to need that kind of defense on the inside as they're getting right there.
So the Saints down by a point, working the clock, down inside 4 minutes. 3rd down and 11 coming up. If they don't convert this, they go to the field goal that could put them in the lead. Now McCown wants a timeout.
Quick timeout, well within field goal range.
And Patricia reminding somebody be on point for this. Tweet on.
Yep, to what extent do the preseason wins or losses affect the morale of players, all add coaches and GMs? You know, in this business, my attitude, I think anybody with the right attitude is if you're going to play and they're going to keep score, I want to win. And most players are like that. But I think preseason games specifically, you have certain goals that you want to see X number of players in this game. If you're Bill Belichick in this organization, you want to get tape on almost everybody on your roster. And that's a chance they're getting. Just about everybody that's in a uniform today is a chance to impress them. So I don't think it affects the mood. I think when preseason gets later, the moods tend to turn a little sour because guys just start to figure out whether or not they're going to be around or not.
Well, they've still got 3 weeks. Learn fast, play hard.
And don't listen to the noise.
A lot of that. The fastest way I think you can get yourself cut if you're a guy, skill position guys, if you lose possessions, fumble.
Yeah, that was a good job there, done by the veteran Will Allen. Look at Allen. He just, you know, you can't see enough good flips during a football game, especially forward flips.
And now the possible go-ahead points. John Casey, who opened the scoring tonight with a 46-yard field goal, now looking to hit one from 41. Didn't get it. Hooked it. Right. So the Patriot faithful are happy. 3:07 to play, and the Pats hold a 7-6 lead.
Man, that little tug. That gets a lefty. It goes right when you tug it. Right-footed kicker, it yanks left. But if it was golf, you'd call it a draw to a hook when you needed the straight ball. Casey's got his earplugs in, so he doesn't listen to anybody. But kickers have enough voices in their heads. They don't need outside influence.
Kind of funny, you know, everybody else is banging on the practice field. And the punter and the place kicker are talking to each other on the sideline. However, when it's on the line, the place kicker decides a lot of things, like he decided as Super Bowls.
Man, I want a vet. I want one of those guys that has been around a while and has that ice water flowing in his veins, is used to those big spots.
Adam Vinatieri, who kicked for the Patriots in the early part of the decade of the 2000s, So the biggest kick he ever made was the field goal in the snow that beat the Raiders in the playoff game.
Off that iceberg. I mean, that was off a pretty good chunk of snow just sitting there when he stroked that thing. That was one of the most amazing kicks I've seen. In those conditions, it was something.
They didn't have the guy come out with the snow sweeper like they had years ago at the old Patriot Stadium.
Yeah, that's you go over here to Patriot Hall, the hall at Patriot Place.
Yeah.
That snow sweep. You walk in the front door, it's right up there. That very same snow sweeper is right there.
I'll tell you, one guy wasn't happy about it, Don Shula. He was on the other sideline.
Never did forget that, did he?
Never. Nope. Ron Meyer was the coach of the Patriots. He waved him out. Zoltan Mesko booms another. It's about as good as you can cover a kick.
Yeah, some clutch kick coverage. Now the defense has to stop New Orleans. A 50-yard punt and a 0 on the return.
These guys, another reason they're smiling, they're off tomorrow and Saturday. .2:11 left to play in the game.
Yeah, you get 2 days off. The young guys scatter and the old guys sleep.
That's a good throw. Joseph Morgan couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, again, a very nice throw by Luke McCown. He puts it right there on Morgan. Throws it behind the DB into the defensive back's back of his jersey. Lets his receiver come back and get it.
Derek Martin was the defender on that play. McCowan in trouble. Here comes the sacker.
Ball's loose.
Trevor Scott frees the ball up.
He rips it out. That ball is loose right after he swings his right arm at the ball. Bang, that thing's loose. Free ball, you got a chance to score. New Orleans ball.
1:56 left to play. New Orleans Saints with the ball, down by a point, ball at their 6-yard line, and a 3rd and long coming up. 3rd and 18. Here's the play, Trevor Scott coming in.
Trevor Scott and Luke McCown, you figure he's got to sort of feel him or see him, but Scott does a very nice job of punching that ball out with the right hand. It's up to the rest of that defense to get the ball once he's knocked it loose, though.
Scott, a 5th-year player, was with the Raiders last season. So now Luke McCown has one option. That's to throw the ball downfield, try to get a first down, keep a drive alive, and set up for a field goal. They missed their last one that would have given them the lead. These were 2 of the highest scoring teams in the league. The 4 highest scoring teams were Green Bay, New Orleans, New England, and Detroit.
Well, the Patriots have 7 points and 8 punts, and the Saints have 6 points and 6 punts. So we've seen something that I don't know if many expected to see for the whole night. We've seen some pretty poor execution on offense and some very good defense at times.
So here we go, 3rd down and 18. 1:56 to play. McCowan over the middle throw. Hit a Patriot in the back. Target was Andy Tanner. He's been going to him a lot on clutch downs.
That was Mike Rivera, the linebacker, it caught just a little piece of. He had his back to McCown, but never contacted the receiver. And the ball contacted him from Matt Patricia's defense.
So Randy, they're going to have Morstead punt the ball and play defense, try to get it back with 1:51 to play. Each team with 2 timeouts left. Man, what a charge he put into that. Fair catch by Jeremy Ebert. And the Patriots send an offense out to try to run the clock out and come out with a 1-point win.
Well, this is something, Don. I think for a first performance, there's an awful lot of things to love about this from the Patriots. But I think Coach Belichick is going to have a heck of a learning reel for his players when they do come back in after their couple of days off.
Everything is reviewed. Everything. The way they warmed up is reviewed. Every play, every position coach grades every guy and is under him.
And one of the things that makes this organization so special and this coaching staff so special is I think they grade themselves as harshly as they do the players, especially at this time of the year. I mean, you made the comment about how great Tom Brady looked in our meeting.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick immediately said, I don't know. I don't think anybody on that field looked great.
I'll tell you an interesting observation Charlie Weiss made when he was offensive coordinator. He said he didn't realize it until he left the Patriots, but one of the things that makes him good, you talk about team chemistry. He said that every year there was tremendous chemistry among the coaches. And he said he didn't really appreciate it until he left. It's not that way everywhere.
Oh, it's not. It's not. That's one of the real educations. I spent 10 years with Coach Walsh in San Francisco. When I went into broadcasting, I was absolutely stunned that everyone didn't do business the way that the Niners did. And I know there's got to be players when they leave this organization assume people do things the way the Krafts and the Belichick and this organization always do it, and then they're wrong there too.
Well, that is it. 2 old friends, not that old. Brady's 35, Drew Brees is 34. They spent a lot of time together after practices this week. In fact, Drew Brees took a bunch of his linemen and skill position players to a Red Sox game for the morning practice yesterday. We'll be coming back as the Patriots defeat the Saints by a score of 7-6.